Hi, I'm Tatiana Mejia. I find joy in traveling and eating, and lucky for me, I have managed to blend those two passions into one amazing journey. I am proud to be a pioneer in gastronomic tourism in South America, and I want to welcome you to Bites and Sights, where we travel by eating or eat by traveling. Today, I want to take you on a flavorful ride through gastronomic tourism, on one of a kind way to discover the world through its flavors, its traditions, and the communities that bring them to life. Welcome to a brand new season of Bites and Sights. And what better way to kick things off than a trip to my home country, Colombia, a place that's globally known for its coffee, sure, but trust me, Colombia's food is way more than just coffee beans. Our cuisine is an entire universe, rich, diverse, and full of stories. Behind every traditional dish, there's a tale of identity, resilience, and a mix of cultures, indigenous, Afro, and rural communities all come together in the flavor of our land. In this episode, we are going deep into the hidden gems of Colombian cuisine. We'll go from the Andes to the Caribbean, from the Amazon to the Pacific, uncovering one-of-a-kind ingredients like Amazonian chili, bijao leaves, and achote. We'll talk about cooking techniques passed down through generations, like wrapping food in banana leaves or using a wood-burning stove. And of course, we'll explore dishes that are not famous worldwide, but are the heart and soul of their regions, like Santander's mute, the Pacific encocado, or mazamorra chocuana, just to name a few. We'll also meet the people who keep these traditions alive, from home cooks to entire communities who turn food into their most treasured heritage. So buckle up, we're going on a culinary road trip to Colombia, and we're about to find out the country is so much more than coffee. Let's get started. When people think of Colombian food, it's pretty common for coffee to pop into their minds first. And hey, for good reason. Colombia is one of the top coffee producers on the planet, and our beans are world famous for their rich, smooth flavor. But there's the thing. When an entire country's food culture gets boiled down to just one product, we miss out on everything else it has to offer. So today, I want to invite you to look past the coffee cup. Colombian cuisine is actually a mirror of our geography, our history, and our people. We got two coasts, one on each ocean. Thick jungles, high mountains, and vast plains. Every ecosystem gives us its own set of ingredients. Every community adds its own twist, and every dish tells a story about resistance, roots, and reinvention. Did you know that Colombian food is influenced by African, indigenous, and European traditions? That every region has dishes that have been passed down like family heirlooms? Take the Caribbean region. Coconut, plantains, and fish are a staple reflection African and tropical roots. In the Pacific, the use of smoked meats and encocados ties back to African Colombian heritage. In the Amazon, you'll find ingredients like chontaduro, black chili, and fish wrapped in bijao leaves, things that are part of everyday meals. And in the Andes, corn, potatoes, and meats have been part of the diet since pre-Hispanic times. Every bite we take is more than just food. It's memory, identity, and connection to ones who cook before us. And in the world where fast foods and global trends are making everything taste the same, highlighting these traditional foods, it's more important than ever. Knowing that we eat and where it comes from make us more conscious travelers. That's the goal of this podcast. It helps us honor the culture, the stories, and the people behind the plate. So today, we're diving into the best kept secrets of Colombian cuisine. We're uncovering the dishes that don't usually make in onto the tourist brochures, but hold the true essence of who we are. Colombia is much more than coffee. It always amazes me how a country as diverse as Colombia can be summed up by just one word when it comes to food: coffee. Don't get me wrong, I love our coffee, it's a treasure. But our food, it's a colorful mosaic of stories, flavors, and traditions. Let me tell you about one time I was in Santander. I was invited to try mute, this thick, earthy soup that's packed with flavor: meat, corn, and everything you can imagine. It's like a celebration in a bowl. They told me the dish was indigenous roots and was originally made for big festivities. What blows my mind is how something once tied to rituals is now served in everyday dinners all across the region. How often do we sit down to eat and not ask ourselves where that food came from? What stories are baked into those ingredients? Has that ever happened to you? Take sancocho, for instance. It's one of Colombia's most beloved dishes, but not everyone knows that every region has its own version, each one telling a different story. On the Caribbean coast, it's made with fish and coconut. Hello, African and tropical vibes. In the eastern plains, they use smoked meats and an indigenous preservation method that's been around forever. In Antioquia and the coffee region, sancocho is made with free-range chicken and green plantains, straight out of peasant cooking traditions. And these are just a few versions. I remember my mom used to make sancocho at home, and the best part was always the next day's breakfast, calentado, made with leftovers from the sancocho. If you have never had calentado, think of it like a Colombian-style stir-fried rice. You chop up the leftover cassava, plantains, potatoes, ribs, whatever you got. Saute it all together, toss in yesterday's rice, and boom. At home, we eat it with ají casero, a homemade hot sauce, and a big mug of coffee with milk. It was pure joy. Speaking of plantains, they are a big deal in Colombian cuisine, one of our staple crops, and depending on the region, the flavor and texture vary a lot. I've loved plantains since I was little. Just like I try a new kind of arepa in every place I visit, I also try local plantain dish. There are endless ways to prepare them: sweet, salty, fried, baked, you name it. I'll never forget the banana del Pacifico. I was on a trip with culinary students from Savannah University visiting Boca Grande, a small island near Tumaco. We gathered ingredients like reculambay, a shellfish, and blue crab, coconut, wild cilantro that is called culantro, and of course plantains for lunch at a fisherman's house. That lunch? A feast. The plantain from the region was soft, creamy, and perfectly balanced, not too sweet, not too salty. The encocado crab next to it was just wow. And speaking of another encocado, Let me tell you about the time I visited Guapi in the Pacific. I met Esneda, a traditional cook who welcomed me into her home with a piangua encocado. The piangua is a type of clam, and we had collected earlier with a group of women in the mangroves. Watching Esneda cook was mesmerizing. She grated the coconut by hand, extracted the milk, and while everything simmered, she shared stories of her childhood, her grandmother, and how important it is to keep their food culture alive. It really hit me. So many recipes disappear because there is no one left to pass them on. Globalization makes us swap our own traditions for imported ones. That experience is one I hold close. Her home on the edge of the Guapi River, surrounded by nature. It made me slow down and really be present. Here is a fun fact. Talking about arepas, did you know Colombia has over 95 types of arepas? Yep. From the sweet, cheesy arepa boyacense to the egg-filled arepa de huevo from the coast, every region has its own version. This food comes straight from our indigenous roots. They were making arepas way before the Spanish were even arrived. I loved asking Colombians, how many kinds of arepas do you know? Most people only know the ones from their region, and well, just a few. The real number always surprised them. And Colombian arepas aren't just made from corn. Did you know that? We use jam, rice, plantains, cassava. I could talk about this all day. Well, now let's talk about chocolate, cocoa. While coffee steals the spotlight, Colombian cocoa is world class. Santander grows a fine aroma cocoa that's won international awards. The Sierra Nevada variety, cultivated by the Arhuaco people, was also earned global recognition. Same with Tumaco. In Chocó, you'll find chocolate pear with dry sour guava. In the Sierra Nevada, it's made with coca leaf. In Boyacá, there's a version with black garlic, and in Santander, chocolate with mango, just to name a few. I love doing tastings that pair chocolate with our ancestral drinks, like yachi from the Wayuu, or even with international pairings, like wine or pisco. I share this experience with travelers, both local and foreign, to show that Colombia is more than coffee. It smells like chocolate, chili, vanilla, and roasted corn. And finally, I have to tell you about my trip to the Amazon jungle. Well, we had lunch with the Witoto community, an experience I will never forget. We went into the jungle, collected pineapple, yuca brava, dale dale, ají, ants, mojojoy, the Amazonian grub, while the men were fishing. It was into the jungle, and it was in the Chagra. That's the name of the place. Back at the house, we prepped everything together. Grandma handled the yuca brava. It's called brava because it is toxic until properly processed. I helped prep it for the casabe, their version of arepa, and tucupi, also known as black chili. We roasted pirarucu, a massive Amazonian fish wrapped in bijao leaves. The kids made juice with aguaje, one of my favorite fruits. Actually, in the eastern plains, they call it moriche and feed it to pigs. Can you imagine? They don't know what they are missing. It's amazing. It's delicious. Dalia was in charge to cook the sancocho of the huitoto with ants, maraca, fruit, sweet potato, leaves, tucupi, chili, fish, and steamed shrimp. We sat on the floor, ate with our hands, and shared stories. It was magical. That's what I hope you take away today. Colombian cuisine isn't just a list of recipes, it's a living, breathing part of our history and our roots. And if you want to go even deeper, I've got a few books to recommend you. Cocina Palenquera para el Mundo, a beautiful book of Afro-Colombian cooking. Fogón de Negros by Germán Patiño, a Pacific Coast classic. Colombia, Cocina de Regiones by Carlos Gaviria, a true gem for understanding regional food. Actually, Carlos taught at the Savannah University, where I led students culinary tours across Colombia, and his work continues to inspire those journeys today. And to wrap up, what about a song? Let's close with La Tierra del Olvido by Carlos Vives, a tune that captures the soul of our land, because Colombia's isn't just meant to be seen. It's meant to be tasted, heard, and felt. So next time, when someone says Colombia is all about coffee, think of me and remind them there's a whole world of flavor waiting to be explored. And the best way to travel is, of course, through food. Today we travel through Colombia by way of its food, discovering flavors that go far beyond coffee. We explore unique ingredients like corn, chocolate, plantains, and Amazon chili, and learn about dishes that carry centuries of traditions, sancocho, mute, encocado, and much more. We also celebrate the indigenous, Afro, and peasant communities that have preserved this rich heritage. Before you go, check out the poll on Spotify and tell us which dish you think best represents Colombian food culture. And if there's one thing I hope you walk away with, it's this. Colombian cuisine isn't just about recipes, it's about people. It's about living history, and every dish is a reminder of how deep those roots go. Tell me in the comments, what's your favorite Colombian dish? Or is there a flavor that surprised you on your travels? If you enjoyed this episode, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next one. And if you think someone else might love this journey, please share it. It's the best way to spread the word about this conscious, delicious way to travel. I'll leave you with this thought. Every trip, every bite is a chance to connect more deeply with the world around us. So wherever you are, don't stop exploring, tasting, and discovering, because the best way to get to know a place is to eat it. See you next time, and until then, keep traveling with an open palate and open heart. See you next time.